Okay, everybody, it's day 5 at the ISDE, and I'm Jesse Ziegler.
And I'm Quinn Cody.
And we're here in the Cycle News studios trying to get the down and dirty on 6 days Italia. Quinn, are you confused yet?
Yeah, we're struggling a little bit to get the info today. It's I think that maybe they had a little struggle getting final results, and it was wet and rainy over there all day, and I'm sure they're having even bigger struggles than we are.
For sure. If you looked at any of the live feed, any of the results coming in through Instagram, you could see it. It turned into what we thought it was going to be. It was a slippery mess out there.
Yeah, it looked pretty snotty. I watched some of the live feed this morning, and it was basically just 2 corners on the finish of a test, and it wasn't quite as up to the standard that we've seen this week, but it kind of looked like a slot car track. The guys were just riding a rut, and whoever the fastest guy was through that one rut on that particular test was
the one that made it happen.
One. Yeah.
They did modify the course today. They took out one special test that was, I guess, the final yesterday test. They were supposed to ride that first today again, and it was unrideable. Even yesterday, a lot of club members, club team riders were struggling even to get around it with the rain coming down. And so they took that test out, and then they modified some of the existing tests. So they had 4 tests total out of 5 planned today. They even modified some of those lines to get more fresh grass, so it's not just the hard-packed, slick, shiny mud.
They do that from time to time later in the week at the 6 days, and you see where they'll move the inside of a corner in or, push it out further or whatever. So, you can see guys have to go kind of inside and stay in the grass. But I think it probably caught a few guys out. I saw a video of Garcia. He went kind of wide in a corner and got almost not stuck, but definitely lost his momentum. And, but it was interesting to watch Garcia ride because he's just riding the grass. So he wasn't touching any of the slick, burned in stuff. He's just moving from grass to grass and trying to find traction anywhere he could.
Marginal gains in traction mean marginal gains in speed and time. And yeah, it was interesting to see some of those guys look a little less comfortable than normal because they've literally looked completely in control and dialed in all week in all the highlights.
Except for when he was going over the bars and day one.
Day one. That was
I don't know if Garcia ever looks in control 100%. The guy's pretty wild. Verona, on the other hand, he looks like he's in control, and he's, much different riding style.
Yeah, very cool to watch. There is a lot to take home from today. Josep Garcia, again, takes the overall victory after Verona's win yesterday. He beat Verona by only 6 seconds today. And again, those two, cream of the crop, really tight every test. Enduro 21 reported that there were 3 tests today that they were separated by less than a second.
Yeah.
So just really tight racing for those guys to try to put themselves at the top of the overall classification at 6 days this year. And they're doing it because they're only separated by 40 seconds. Garcia has about a 40-second lead overall over Verona. So very tight between those top 2.
Yeah, it's crazy when you look at their times, tests 3, 4, and 5, they were within a second of each other.
That's so cool.
Really unbelievable.
Yeah, and only 40 seconds after all the tests for all the 5 days of racing. And today, again, is the last day of traditional enduro testing. Tomorrow there's a motocross test, which is basically a mass start. Do they start on different rows generally for classes, or is it just trophy goes and then junior trophy goes?
They kind of mix it up. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do it this year, but I know they mix. Sometimes we'll have E3 and E1 together and stuff like this. So we'll have to dig around and see if we can't find the starting order for tomorrow and see where everybody is. It will be interesting to see how that shakes out because there is some results out there that will be dependent on this final motocross test. Not a ton of the main categories, but there's enough close times out there in individuals and even some of the categories that could be decided, especially if somebody has a problem. That's going to really be, the telling thing. So, third overall of the day was Mikael Persson from Sweden again, but the gap grows quite a bit to third. That was about 37.5 seconds, almost 37.2 seconds to third place. So the top 2 guys clearly setting the bar. Third place coming in 37 seconds behind that. And then we have Junior World Trophy Kyron Bacon from Australia, 4th fastest today. So really setting some time in there. Samuel Bernardini, another Italian, in 5th today. So that's 2 Italians in the top 5.
and that's why they're leading the overall 6 days for the team classification. Johnny Giroir, top American today. He was 6th fastest. And then Grant Davis, 8th, putting another junior world trophy racer into the top 10 today on the day. So very cool to see Grant Davis up there crushing it again.
Yeah, a good day for both of these guys, really. And
yeah,
it's good to see them kind of finish off their 6 days on a positive note, given it's been a little bit inconsistent so far.
Yeah, exactly. That Bacon and Davis duo in the Junior World Trophy team standings, they topped those 1 and 2, respectively. Bacon was 9 seconds and 9.47 seconds ahead of Grant Davis on the day today. Cooper Jones, again, in the Junior Trophy, he was finishing in top 10, the next American in the Junior Trophy class. So good results from Junior, but as we'll see in the results, they're a little bit out of the podium.
Yeah. And, our trophy team, I think, has struggled again a little bit. Aside from Johnny Giroir, I think Dante Oliveira was 24th today. Mm-hmm. So, not ideal, but he's up there. Cody Barnes in 17th, which is better than he's done in the last couple of days. But
yeah, the story is the same with the U.S. team. Really, a couple guys are doing great, a couple guys struggle, and that's just not a great recipe for a team classification result. In the Junior World Trophy team overall standings, actually, let's go to the World Trophy team overall standings. Let's do that first, right? Mm-hmm. So Italy's holding on really, really well here. They have almost an 8-minute lead now over Sweden, with France in third, just under 2 minutes behind Sweden. So top 3 pretty safely set, unless there's a big catastrophe in the motocross test for that podium.
Yeah, I think that this is pretty much our result that we're going to see at the end of this thing. I don't think there's going to be any big changes tomorrow.
It'll be big news if we do hear something different. USA actually moved up today in the World Trophy. They moved up into 4th, so they jumped back in front of Spain. They were down about a minute yesterday, so they took that minute back with the team result, and they also stretched out about another 30 seconds there. So they're 30 seconds ahead of Spain in 5th place. So not a bad day for U.S. overall. They got a little cushion there. 30 seconds isn't a lot to keep that that 4th position.
It's relatively safe. And, our guys usually do pretty well in the moto tests too. That seems like, when so it's going to be a much different race tomorrow because they're going to be starting on a gate basically. So everybody's combined. So again, anything can happen because you can have first turn pile up or whatever, but it's not going to be these individual tests where they're sending guys one rider at a time.
That puts them still 5 minutes off the podium. So, the battle there is to maintain 4th place.
They got some work to do for next year.
Yeah, we got some work to do for next year, but that's okay. In the junior classification, Italy also holding down 1st place, but this one's pretty tight. So they're only 59 seconds ahead of France. So in that minute range, I think you could start getting a little more nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the final moto, if they were given any kind of disaster, barring any kind of disaster, then they're safe, I would say.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah,
you're the expert. That's why you're here. Australia is comfortably in 3rd. They got 2.5 minute gap to France in 2nd place, and they got a 9-minute gap ahead of USA. So yesterday it was about 11 and change. So the U.S. Junior World Trophy team came up, Grant Davis obviously being a big part of that, and the other guys crushing it today. They knocked a couple minutes out, but they're running out of days to close that gap anymore. Spain's in 5th back. They're about 2.5 minutes behind the USA. So pretty good result for Spain in the junior too. So right now their World Trophy team's suffering a little bit. They're getting knocked around a little bit with inconsistency. So maybe they have some junior kids coming up that are going to help fill in, Josep Garcia's roost.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see, next year, 6 days being in Portugal, it should be the 100th edition. So
yeah, very exciting.
Should be, little different ground maybe than what we're seeing now, a little drier possibly.
Right. I don't know if the results are going to change that much with those top 2 guys being on the gas though.
True.
And the women's team, we are dominating it. We have almost a 36-minute lead over Australia, with France in 3rd, 4 minutes back behind there. So the podium again pretty much set for the women's team.
Yeah, American women are crushing it, and there was quite a little battle, I think, between our top 2 American women today.
Definitely, yeah. Kori Steed and Brandy Richards went at it today. Kori's really stepped up in the last couple of days. She's been riding exceptionally well. Some great highlights out there of her on the gas, and Brandy Richards won the day by less than a second. Yeah,
over Kori Steed. So that's some close racing between the top 2 American women.
Yeah, very, very, very cool today. The tests today were, reduced in quantity, but not reduced in their intensity. Garcia went fastest on 2 tests today, second fastest on the other 2. Verona went 3:1:12 on the day. Mikhail Pearson's best finish was a 3rd on the 4th stage today. I'm still calling them stages.
Test,
special test, yeah. Italy's Samuele Bernardini also got a 3rd in the test 5, but the biggest in the trophy category finish, Grant Davis, the American, he's 3rd fastest in the world on special test 3, which is cool.
Yep.
However, there's another factor to be considered here, and that's the club teams versus the World Trophy teams. And they don't blend those together in the results, but the clock doesn't lie.
Yeah.
And Thorne Devlin from the U.S. club team, he's on the Rapiconda team. He was the fastest in special test 4, which is telling because he was hauling the mail. But there might be some other factors in there, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Thorne had a great day. He won the overall in the club division today, which is really cool. And it's not an easy thing to do. These are all former, pro racers or current pro racers.
Especially the Italians. They got a couple stacked club teams.
So, but yeah, special test 4, I mean, he was the fastest overall in special test 4. Mm-hmm. But if you look a little deeper into the times, then also special test 5, another club rider won special test 5 today. Mm-hmm. So, I think, there's a chance that, of course, the conditions change. Maybe they dry out a little bit. The track comes around a little bit. So maybe he's had a little bit better conditions than, say, the top couple trophy guys going through there. So there's an advantage to be starting in the rear in this moment. Areas. Yeah, but
in this particular
still,
time.
Very impressive ride by Thorne, and you know, it's cool to see him top all the club riders too. So can't take anything away from that.
It was very good. Good transition to the club. Excuse me, the club standings today. Thorne from Team Rabiconda, who's the fastest club rider today, followed by literally like a swarm of Italians were right behind him.
Yeah.
There's 6 of them in a row in the top 7. And then Brody Johnson, Team XC Gear, he was 9th fastest today. The MC Italia A team leads the club standings by about 5 minutes over that USA Team Rabiconda team. And then the BBM Racing Time Italy team, they are 2 minutes back in 3rd. So that sort of trio of club teams is pretty much set.
You know, and it's interesting. You look at the club results. I'm just kind of scrolling through really quickly here. And in the top 17, there's only Americans and Italians.
Yeah.
in the top 17 spots in the club division. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I love seeing the club guys get out there. Obviously, we've talked about them a bunch, self-funded, a little bit of support, but clearly these are the journeymen making it out there. The good team with a bad name, they're sitting in 4th, just over 6 minutes off the podium. So great race by them so far. And the Missouri Mutters, the other American teams rounding out the top 5, just 40 seconds back. So pretty cool to see those guys battling it out.
Strong club presence this year.
Yeah, Thorne's ride today was exceptional. I'm trying to get Thorne on FaceTime right now, but the time delay, and who knows if they're submerged in a rental car somewhere on the way home from dinner right now. It's very possible. Thorne went 4-2-1-3 or 4-1-1-3 on the test today. I think he won 2 tests or he won 1 test today.
I just switched out of that page here. So,
and Brody Johnson took the special test 3 victory today. So very cool. Good job, guys. Way to rip. Okay, I think we got a clip from Grant Davis from the Team USA container box interview, courtesy of, team manager, boss man, Auntie Callanan. So here's Grant Davis, again, 8th overall on the day and topped 3rd in special test 3.
Day 5 was good. It was the last full day of Enduros, and test 2, I got a top 3 overall time, which I'm really pumped on, and other than that, I'm starting to figure some stuff out, getting a little better and stuff. They cut the day short. We only did 4 tests today with the rain and all the weather, but it was a fun day other than that.
You look so calm and collected after 5 days of racing.
Yeah, young guy. It probably doesn't even faze him.
He's probably not even remotely bothered by everything he's been through.
Yeah, I imagine these guys are pretty stoked. I know, I remember the feeling of finishing the 5th day and just being like, okay, now all we got to do is get through this moto and the week's over, you know, and
simple.
It's a relief.
One simple motocross test. It's cool to see how much more content's coming out from the 6 days this year. And a big part of that, I think, is the 6 days or beyond 6 days vlog competition the FIM put out. Basically, they opened up an invite for you to submit a proposal if you wanted to basically vlog the entire experience of a team. And you had to like submit a proposal, say who my team is, what we're going to do, and all that kind of stuff. And there's 2 USA teams that are participating in it this year. One's the women's trophy team, which obviously the women's trophy team has plenty to talk about with their dominance and stuff. And my good buddy Ian Howes is putting that together along with Mary Rennell from the photographer. And they're putting it together really well. So you can check that out on Ian House's, I'm going to play it right here, just in the background. Ian House's YouTube channel, just to give you a taste of what it kind of looks like. Don't have the volume on, but Ian does a really great job with the FPV drones. And he's getting literally like in the back pocket of the women's team as they're going through these special tests a lot of the times. And you can get really detailed insight into what it's like to get through these picturesque grass tracks. And it's really cool to watch. It's cool storytelling. They got him sort of like memorizing the course, and then his drone is synced to what they're talking about in the course. So it's a really cool experience to watch. Gives you really insight. The other team that's doing a great job is the Mojo Motorsports SXS team. And these guys, you know, they're Anson Maloney. You got Zane Roberts and Ryder Tomaselli on this team. And I think that they do a really good job of showing sort of the lighthearted side of it. They're not being too serious. They're trying to have a lot of fun, but they're showing that, you know, it can also be fun when you can also go fast when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And these guys have really kind of stepped it up, and I know they're climbing up the ranks and that kind of stuff too, but it's cool to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out this year with the live stream and these vlogs and just all the social media stuff. This has been, I'd say, by far the best 6 days to spectate from a distance.
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, I think the people that are involved in these vlogs are just really true enthusiasts. Like I follow a lot of these guys around the Hard Enduro series and the National Hare and Hound series, and you know, they're just doing the right thing to try to get the sport to grow and to try to show people what it's like behind the sport.
Yeah, no,
which isn't easy
really
to do.
Cool, and giving back to all their sponsors and the people that support them and get them there, because you know no one can really do this on their own. They have to raise money, they have to get support from all the different industry sponsors and family and everything else. So it's cool to be able to follow this stuff this closely and kind of behind the scenes. I'm
also really glad that Zane Roberts was sitting there in half his underwear while I was doing this too, so I can try to troll him a little bit, because I don't mind trolling Zane Roberts. He did let me race his Hare and Hound bike this year, though.
Yeah.
I mean, race. That's a loose term. I rode around on it.
You rode on a Hare and Hound track. You rode on the same track as Zane Roberts.
I rode, yes. It was well broken in by the time I got to the pits. He was surprised. When I got back to the pits, he was concerned. He was wondering where I was. His whole team looked at me like, what's taking you so long? And then when I told them I stopped to get a snack, they just shook their head. They're like, we don't stop for snacks at Hare and Hounds. I was like, well, I do. I'm tired.
Oh boy.
Good stuff. Tomorrow, big motocross test. I mean, it's just a moto test. How long does it last you? Is it just like 35 minutes?
Short. No, I don't even think they're that long. Yeah. I mean, they're 4 or 5 laps. They have to really, they have to run everyone through this stuff. So they have to run all the World Trophy riders and
600.
All the women's riders, all the women's teams, junior teams, and then all the club teams. So yeah, it's, 750 people on the motocross track throughout the day. So they'll have it all categorized into start times. Usually it's kind of like based on where you are in the overall. They'll probably break up club riders and stuff. Sure. But so yeah, it'll be,
I mean, anything can happen in a motocross, right? Yeah,
That's
you could
true.
crash and you could crash out for sure, and your 6 days there. But you know, for the most part, I think it's only a few laps, 4 or 5 laps, and it's over pretty quick.
I did see some cool things in the pits today at the end of the day. A lot of people were installing hole shot devices. So in their 15-minute work period after changing tires and filter and stuff, slapping on a hole shot device. I saw that a bunch. And I also saw people doing rear sprocket changes. Like they're like, oh, tomorrow moto test, I'm going to put a different sprocket on to try to get some gearing advantage out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. You know, there was some video of Garcia working on his bike, and he just looked super calm and relaxed.
Yeah.
And then as he got to the end of his work period, all of a sudden it was like, oh, whoa, I gotta hustle.
Run out of time.
Yeah. And so it was funny. It was almost like he forgot that he was, he was on the clock, and then he had to kind of hustle out. So but it's really neat to see all this behind the scenes stuff that, you know, we didn't get to see years ago.
And we got one clue about Garcia was that he was a little bit injured yesterday, and we got a report from Ian Howes actually sent me a text saying that his knuckle was split. I don't know which finger it was, but from one side of the knuckle all the way over, and he ended up getting about 10 stitches in the pits last night. So
yeah.
Pretty brutal. And then he still won today.
Yeah, Fabio yesterday telling us they used the silver tape method, or the duct tape method on his knuckle to get him through the day, and then he had to get some stitches on his way.
Old duct
afterwards.
tape, the old duct tape suture. Only in Enduro do you have duct tape sutures. So great day racing for everybody. Tomorrow's going to be a muddy mess again. It's pouring rain there right now. It's not forecast to let up much. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yucky. There are going to be some mud motos. Definitely running roll-offs. All right, that's about all we got today. We'll try to get some more interviews tomorrow as it wraps up. I'm sure everybody's going to be in a much better mood, a little more chipper. Maybe they want to answer our FaceTime calls.
Can't wait to see the Italian celebration tomorrow after the final moto. I think this is going to be good.
I mean, they're on pace to sweep every category except for the women's trophy team. So it's going to be quite a party for them.
Yeah.
All right, let's party Italian style tomorrow.